Hi, I'm back with one simple recipe to help you take one step closer to better health. My name is Judy Matusky. I'm a registered dietitian and culinary nutritionist with Athens Nutrition, so good to be back again. Today we are making a tahini date shake. It is creamy, it is rich, it is, slightly sweet, but sweet enough. No dairy. So it is a non-dairy milk shake, and it is also gluten-free, and it is also vegan, if that is something that is of interest to you. All right, so we're gonna get started. 4 ingredients, 5 minutes. It's super fast, and I think this is a great afternoon treat for the kids too. Since you're back to school, this could be something that could be fun, or even something fun for the weekend. All right, let's talk about the ingredients. We are using dates. And as you know, when I cook with dates, I always use medjool dates. They are larger dates. They are super kind of creamy and sweet. And, if you've never had a fresh date, dates are not dried fruit. These are fresh. This is fresh from the date palm tree. They do have a pretty decent pit inside, so you definitely want to take that out before you use them. They make such a great naturally sweet treat, like after dinner snack or in between snack. Great mixed with nuts as a snack. Love, love, love them. So I always have these around. I usually buy a big, this is a really big container from Costco. You can find them in the supermarket though. You can keep them at room temperature. You can store them in the refrigerator if you're not going to use them for a while, or even in the freezer if you need to extend their life, because you kind of want them when they're really nice and fresh and they don't start to get too dry and too hard. Okay, so we're going to use some dates. And of course we are using tahini, and I have this really super large container of tahini right now. I picked it up at my Euro market or my Middle Eastern market, and it's a big one. And as you know, with tahini, if you use tahini, it is made from sesame seeds. I just love it. It does have a little bit of a more bitter, it has a slight bitterness to it over like a peanut butter or almond butter, but I love it. It's a little thinner. It can be used in so many different dressings and sauces, and if you've made my tahini granola, that's fantastic. So I use it in a lot of different things, and I'm finding I'm using it more and more. It's very low in saturated fat, so it's nice and healthy. So we're going to use the tahini in this. Now you could substitute almond butter or peanut butter. That's fine. But if you have tahini, use it. I keep this in my refrigerator. It's just like peanut butter, natural peanut butter or almond butter. You do have to stir it because it will start to separate. This one was a bugger. I was stirring this for like 5 minutes before I came on live. There's so many solids here at the bottom. I think I got it mostly stirred. Ended up using a knife, which seemed to make it a little easier. So we've got our dates, we've got our tahini. Now the milk, I'm gonna use almond milk. That's what was in the recipe that I originally got, although I made a few modifications to it. But you can use any milk, so it's fine with dairy. If you want dairy, you get a little more protein. If you did, that would be great. If you don't want dairy, but you want more protein, then use soy milk. I love soy milk. It's great. Health benefits are phenomenal. It's the same amount of protein as in regular cow's milk, but if you want to, you can also use the almond milk. That's just a little lighter, and some people tend to like that. This is the plant-based milk I have in my refrigerator right now, so I thought I would keep this vegan, so I'm going to go ahead and use the almond milk, but you could use oat milk, anything's fine. So we have the dates, we have the tahini, we have the milk, and then the final thing we're going to add will be the frozen bananas. Now, with this recipe, it calls for 2 frozen bananas. I kind of been playing around with it. I sometimes like it without the bananas. The bananas definitely give it, help to, keeps it a little more cold and creamy and frozen, sort of more like that milkshake texture. That's what the bananas do. You do taste a little bit of the background banana flavor, but not a lot. So I actually make this a couple ways. So sometimes I do use the bananas, but sometimes I feel like the bananas might make it a little too sweet, so I'll cut back a little bit on the dates for me. Or I might add cocoa powder. So the one we're making today is not chocolate based, but you could add a tablespoon of cocoa powder to this and then make a chocolate date shake, which again, that is absolutely delicious. The other thing that I might do is if I skip the bananas, we are going to add a little bit of ice to this, but if I skip the bananas, I just might up the ice just to keep it colder and keep it, so it's a little bit more, again, like that milkshake. Sometimes I'll make this with the bananas. Sometimes I make it without. It depends. It's just a little thinner without the bananas. If I don't use the bananas, I might up the dates by 1 or 2. But sometimes I prefer that. I don't always want this made with bananas. But if you have bananas, and this is my bag of frozen bananas. So if I have bananas that are getting really ripe, I just peel them. They get thrown into this bag. And then these come out to make something like this, or maybe banana and ice cream, which is also delicious, as well as just even cooking with them or putting them in oatmeals and stuff. So just, easy thing to do without, again, food waste, right? Keeping food waste down. All right, so you're going to need a blender. I'm just going to pull mine over so that you can, sort of see this. It's literally 5 minutes for time. So it's going to take 4 dates for this particular recipe. This makes about 3 cups. And so about 1 cup is probably a serving, give or take. So I guess around 3 servings. And then we're going to use 1/4 cup of tahini. And again, just stirring it. And you can see this is such a nice, rich, beautiful tahini. It's so nice and creamy. I just buy them typically. It's not a particular brand. It's just what I get at the market that I go to. You could, I think it's the Soom, S-O-O-M brand that seems to be pretty popular online. I don't particularly use that one. But the main thing with tahini is that, with tahini, is that the sesame seeds, brand by brand, it'll vary. Some brands might be a little bit more bitter than others. So if you do get some tahini and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I like that bitterness, you can certainly try a different brand. But sesame seeds do have that little slight bitterness. But that's what I love about using tahini in this recipe, because the dates are a little bit sweet, the bananas are a little bit sweet, but the tahini sort of offsets that a little bit. And sometimes, we want something sweet, but not necessarily like overwhelmingly sweet. Okay. So we have the dates, we have the tahini. Now we're going to add about 1/4 cup of ice. So I guess, I don't know, maybe a little bit, probably a little more than 1/4 cup. Then it's 1.5 cups of the milk, whatever milk you're using. This is a vanilla unsweetened, so you definitely want unsweetened because this is a sweeter dessert. You want unsweetened whatever plant milk you're using. This is unsweetened vanilla. If I wasn't using vanilla milk, I might add a little teaspoon of vanilla to this as well, but since this already has the vanilla flavor, I'm not going to do that. All right, and then 2 bananas. I may use a little less than that. I might just do like 1.5. Some of these bananas are pretty decent size, so they're stuck together. So, and then just kind of break the banana up into pieces. If you have a pretty powerful blender like I have, it's going to handle it no problem. But if your blender isn't quite as powerful, you might have to break up the bananas a little bit more. All right, so let me put in, so that was about, that was probably 1.5 smaller bananas. Again, for me, I don't love it overwhelmingly, I don't want it overwhelmingly banana flavor. So I'm probably going lighter on the bananas that are in the original recipe. And then that's it. Now we're going to just load this up and lock it in with the lid. And then I'll just turn it on and bring it up. Honestly, 5 minutes, not even. I think if you have all the ingredients ready, it doesn't even take that long, right? All right, so take your glass, and you can, there's going to be some date chunks in there, so we'll just pour it in. Well, I shouldn't say that, not date chunks. There's just, you're going to see the little date flecks in here. If there are still some date chunks in it, then you probably want to blend it a little bit more, because you don't want that, obviously, if you're drinking it. But a few flakes. And then the final thing we're going to do is just take some cinnamon, and then it's just a little sprinkle on top. And there you have it. This is it. This is your tahini date shake. And if I can sort of show that to you, right? All right. And then I'm going to let me just take a little taste for you. It's so good. You know what's really neat about it? It's super cold. It's nice and creamy. Oh, I have a banana. There's a piece of banana in there. I probably could blend this a little bit longer. The dates, they do break up, but you still have that little sweet there's this little texture of the date, which I love. I mean, this is so good and so easy. Good source of protein from, if you're using like a dairy or if you're using a cow's milk, dairy milk, or soy, again, good source of protein. So it'd be a nice breakfast even, right? With the tahini adds a little bit of protein, a little bit of fiber, but we're really using the tahini for some nice healthy fat and flavor and creaminess. So if you want this more like a meal, I would recommend using either soy milk or dairy milk to get the protein in there. But if you want it just as like a great little snack, just as a dessert, as a treat for the kids, you know, any milk will do, whatever you prefer. So give this a try. And if you want it to be chocolate, all you do is add a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And then all of a sudden you have a chocolate date shake, which is equally as good. All right, enjoy, stay well. Remember, one simple recipe each week. If we bring those to you and we help you to sort of make them at home, we have them in our newsletter, we highlight them, we have the recipe online, then we also are making them as part of this Facebook Live. And these recipes all live on Athens Nutrition's YouTube channel. They pretty much stay up on Facebook page, at least some, now they're starting to get deleted after a certain number of days, but they are on our Athens Nutrition Facebook, our Athens Nutrition YouTube channel. So reach out. This is a good time to really focus on your health. If you need any assistance with any kind of nutrition concerns, particularly if you're over 50, elevated blood cholesterol now, maybe your blood sugar's creeping up, maybe your weight just needs to get a little bit of a healthier range, that's our sweet spot. That's what we do here in Athens Nutrition. We can certainly help you to kind of pull that together so that you can feel better and see those numbers improve. All right, reach out anytime. It's good to see you. I'll see you next week.